Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Market Mastery. You're with your host, Trader Dax, and we have a quick market update for you guys because I think what we're looking at right now across all markets is a potential local bottom, and we might be getting a swing high over the next couple of days or possibly 2 weeks until the CPI data release on the 13th of October. So obviously we have the monthly close coming in at the end of this week as well. So pretty important dates coming up in terms of monthly close, weekly close, etc., all coming in at the same time. We have to remember we actually have had a very strong sell off into this key yearly level, and then we've just swept the level and now having a little bit of a push after that. And very nicely timed for us as well, right on the yearly low, was the Bank of England came out yesterday. Yesterday, and basically said that they're going to start printing capital to buy their bonds because they're having imbalances, and their bond market wasn't the government bond market wasn't operating properly anymore. So they've had to have emergency procedures to save it, right? Which basically means print to go burr. And they're going to be adding a whole heap of new currency back into the market. Now, that's not as much. They're not really doing QE, but they're doing pretty much the same thing because nobody else is buying the bonds and it's getting out of control, right? So we could see similar because they've started. We could see this have a little bit of a knock-on effect, and the ECB starts soon. Because they're going into winter, and Nord Stream just got blown up as well. Who knows what's going to happen? Maybe the behind closed doors, there's a bit of negotiations going on with the superpowers of the world over the war. Realistically, I think for a real bottom to get put in, we probably need an end to the war, and hopefully that comes over the next few months. I don't know. In my opinion, it sort of feels like it's starting to wrap up, but I could be completely wrong about that. And so, anyway, just back to the chart, what we're really looking at here is a change in policy of the Bank of England. They're going to be adding more capital to the markets, which obviously is inflationary for assets, right? And I think the market is sort of cottoning on that the general economies worldwide and the financial system is getting pushed to breaking point. So it's sort of a signal that the Federal Reserve in America, which is the most important, obviously, might be getting a little bit more pressure on it to finally make a pivot because they're getting to that breaking point, right? And I think the market is sensing this. Plus, we just swept the yearly low, and there's obviously been a bit of buying under there. So it would make sense, the Bears have had a pretty good run all the way down through here. So it would make sense, in my opinion, to have a little bit of a rebound here if we are going to go lower, to take out all the late shorts that have been shorting through here, just expecting to go straight through to capitulation. So that makes the most sense to me here. I'm not saying this is a bottom, but I think this could be a local bottom with potential if things swing our way, and we do have good news updates that aren't expected, like inflation comes down dramatically, or the Federal Reserve talks about pausing earlier, or the Federal Reserve talks about sending US dollars over to the UK to help them out, to Japan to help them out, or to the the ECB to help out Europe. That all those things could eventually be, it's kind of like a white swan event that we don't expect. Unexpected good news could really light a fire under this market, and potentially this ends up being the bottom. So I think it's a good idea when you're at really key level support like this, just to get a little bit of risk on the table. So I've taken a little bit of a position in Bitcoin, just because I think there is potential at the moment for a short-term reversal anyway in the stock markets, right? Nasdaq as well, really strong daily close here, and this is a bottoming pattern as well, as like a 4-candle morning star. I see this happen on crypto all the time on lower time frames as well, sort of similar back here as well, right? And if we go back to SPX, you can see the last time we bottomed was the same pattern, that morning star reversal pattern through here. We put in a little bottom through here, morning star reversal, right? And then another morning star reversal here and here. So it might do this where it puts in the double morning star, right? And come back one more time and then go up and just choose up a little bit more time. But I wouldn't be surprised if this went up quickly, like we sort of did here for that bounce, and then we roll over again. I think the major levels that we're looking for, obviously, is major support from the previous all-time high, the COVID pre-COVID dump, I should say. And then this other level, I think, is probably the next major key level through at 2,940. Pretty much 3K. I think those are the two levels. If we do get bad news coming out, like, something escalation in the war or something happens with inflation, et cetera, I think this is a level to watch out for, right? And it sort of makes sense because we've got the long-term trend line intersecting through there as well. And then, if we have, a really bad black swan event, news event, I think this is the level that we're looking for, 2,200 pretty much, right? So hopefully that makes sense. I just wanted to keep this as a quick update. I will just explain one more thing as well that I've been looking at. These P blocks through here are really nice indicator that sometimes price will come back down to and bounce off. Right, so we saw once this P block got put in, price bounced off it multiple times through here and held a support, and then also back here held a support as well, and then one more time back here. Right, we're sort of doing the same thing again. So if this level through here, this 18,500 level can hold, then I'm expecting potential that this could be a local low. If we lose this level though, right, it's probably going to act as resistance. We're going to roll over and nuke. I'll give you another example of that. Back here, right, we had the P block get put in, right, resistance, got above it, right, I was bullish once we got above it, and then obviously as soon as we rejected from there, that was the signal that this is going to roll over because it needed to hold as support through here and it didn't, right? So obviously very bearish through here. Right, and then we came back up into this level once again, and I think that was a pretty obvious rising wedge into really key resistance here. Is going to most likely lead into a rollover. Right, I wasn't expecting it to be that aggressive, but that's what we got in the end anyway. So we could be seeing, sort of similar price action back here. Whenever we do put in these daily P blocks, the market does respect it. The institutional buyers definitely put buys around these P blocks. That's something we know for sure and has played out multiple times over and over again, right? So through here, you can see that as well, the P block being defended, right? And then here again, come underneath the P block, reject it, and then roll over. So it's definitely an interesting thing to take note of. Put that daily into your chart if you want to, if you don't have Romans indicated, but it's a handy little trick for sure. And then the other thing as well, on our indicator, we are getting a buy signal on Cypher here, which is always a good sign for that potential bounce to continue a little bit more to the upside, right? So if stocks do rally here into resistance for a bearish retest before rolling over, I think Bitcoin definitely has potential to run back up and maybe even break through this downtrend resistance, which has been rejected from pretty aggressively over the last few days. But every time we've come into this level, it's rejected it. Right, it could break through, and then I'll be looking for this level through here. I think makes the most sense to me. Right, whoops. It's a little breakout like this, and then the potential rollover is there. I think I like this level, this 16,200, right? And they'll be looking for something like this, a reclaim of all this price action through here, right? And those two daily P blocks. I think that would be extremely bullish, and that is the sort of move that I'd be looking for, for potential bottom pattern on Bitcoin, right? But if you've been watching my last few videos, I've also talked about the potential for this just to be the preliminary support, which is sort of the range that ends up being the range high before we roll over into the accumulation, which, if we do end up rolling over into an accumulation, I think most likely with the capitulation event in the stocks, hitting those lower levels that we looked at, I think the key levels, this 11K and 14K level, and, it rolls over and we get accumulation through here and then breaks out and we move up for that, sort of bear market sort of rally out of accumulation into that reaccumulation phase, right? So that's what I would be looking for there. But I think, if we do lose this level, I'm looking for a reclaim of that level to get, really strong long. And then I would just put my stop losses below wherever the low comes down to. So hopefully that helps you guys. A little bit of insight. Ethereum does also look pretty nice bouncing off this level. So, I want to be bullish at support. I don't want to be bearish at support. And I think we could get a little bit of a rally here before we see the next move down. Thanks a lot for tuning in. If you like our videos and this update helps you, please give us a like, subscribe, or share the video to your other crypto friends. Thanks, guys.